I was trying to figure out how I wanted to start this video, but I think I'm just going to start off with giving a life update. I'm already over halfway of my initial goal of 5,000 words. I think at about 5,300 words right now. I love adding tasks for editing me. Yeah. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Meadow and I am an independent fantasy and romance author. I was trying to figure out how I wanted to start this video, but I think I'm just going to start off with giving a life update. Biggest thing right off the bat, I am recovering from a cold right now. I was really hoping that I could avoid it this cold season, but I was not able to. It's probably because of how much I've been working, which is what I'll get into next. So if my voice sounds a little bit different, which I'm sure it does, probably a little congested, that is the reason why. Update number 2. For any who don't know, and I don't know how much I've explained on this channel about what I do when I'm not writing, but my paying job is as a live theater technician. I work at 2 local theaters, but for the most part, I work at one local theater as one of the technical directors of the space. At the end of August, I was given a couple of contract weeks, so I knew exactly when I was going to be doing the majority of my hours. The first set of those contract weeks just happened, so for the past 2 weeks, I have been working almost full-time hours. It ended up being about 70 hours of work. I had about 2 days off during that time, and so I really wasn't able to do any writing at all. My social media content was also kind of pushed to the back burner. It's just something that ended up happening. I wasn't feeling very creative or motivated to do any of my content or my writing or anything even related to that, because after I was working my 8-hour days, sometimes more than that, I was exhausted and I wanted to do something that didn't feel productive or like work. Because as much as I love writing, writing is partially a job for me, especially the content creation portion and the marketing portion of it. So I wasn't doing any of that during the 2 weeks of my contract, and the 2 days off that I did have, I decided to do some other creative hobbies of mine that I have also been neglecting. Essentially, I really wanted to ensure that I was supporting my physical and my mental health, and so I didn't do anything that was too much for myself. But now my 2 weeks of my contract are up. I've had a couple of extra work days sprinkled in here and there, and I will over the next 2 weeks. For now, it means that I do get to do some more writing on my days off. So after, I think almost 2.5 weeks technically, I am getting back into writing, and it is going to be interesting. What I would like to do is over the course of the next 3 days, write about 50,000. No. I'm going to restart that sentence. What I would like to do is over the course of the next 3 days is to write about 5,000 words. I think that is a very obtainable goal. When I was writing full-time in the summer, or essentially full-time in the summer, I was writing that within a day sometimes. It depended on my writing day. But since I am trying to ease my way back into writing a little bit, I'm giving myself a goal of 5,000 words in about 3 days. So it is day 1 right now. I'm super excited to be back writing. I think that the 2 weeks off have really made me appreciate how much I enjoy writing, and I've had a lot of time to think about the story that I'm currently working on as well. And so I'm back. I'm feeling fresh. I'm feeling rejuvenated. What story am I writing? You may be asking. And if you're not asking that, I'm sorry, I guess. I'm going to tell you anyway. Right now, I am working on a contemporary sapphic romance. It is following the story of 2 friends who are jumping into a fake dating relationship between the 2 of them for their own separate goals. One of them is an aspiring romance author and is trying to get some inspiration while also trying to get the attention of the new barista at the cafe she typically works in. The other friend is trying to make her ex-fiance jealous because she's brought a new girl around. It is super fun. It is super flirty. I wrote draft 1 back in August, and now I am doing essentially an entire rewrite of the story. I discovered in my last video when I started this draft that the first draft was incredibly rough, even more so than usual. And I really wanted to just focus on rewriting. And now that I have more of an idea of who these characters are and the story that I'm trying to tell, I think that rewriting it is really, really helpful for me. So, as you may see in some clips, I have my PC in front of me that I'm fully writing on, and then I have my laptop next to me, which has my draft one pulled up so that I can look down, see what I'm writing, and then rewrite it essentially. A lot of the dialogue is staying the same, some things changing here and there or adding additional dialogue. For the most part, it is the inner monologues that are changing because I found that I didn't have a clear distinction between my two characters' inner monologues. It's a dual POV. So now that I have more of an understanding of how my characters think, I am changing a lot of that inner monologue and also some of the actions as well. I'm also adding in more descriptions of the scene settings, of the characters, just their appearances, and that sort of thing. I've already written one chapter as of right now, and I am partway through a second chapter. I'm feeling really good about it. I'm going to find my word count right now. So today I've already written 2,663 words, which is actually more than I thought that I wrote. I'm now seeing that my goal of 5,000 words in 3 days might be entirely surpassed, and if that's the case, cool. Originally, I was going to try to shoot for 10,000, and that felt a little scary. I guess we'll see by the end of today and tomorrow where I land. My day 3 of writing is only a partial day of writing because I have some other errands and such to do. So, I guess we'll see how far I get by the end of today and then tomorrow as well. Maybe I can go for more than 5,000, but we'll see. I don't want to put the pressure on myself. This is supposed to be me easing into it, but I guess after the little bit of a slump I had this morning when I started, I think I've kind of gone into my stride a little bit here. All right, this has been a super long introduction to this video, which I apologize for. I am going to turn this camera off and get back into writing. Okay, I am back. Not much has changed since I last spoke. I just did one more writing sprint. It was about, I think it was 25 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. And now I think I might pause for the day. I have a couple of things to do this evening, and then I have a really short shift at work. I need to go in and do some training, but I just wanted to check in about where I got to today. So, final word count of the day is 3,419 words. I'm already over halfway of my initial goal of 5,000 words. So I think I am just going to officially raise my goal. I think I'm going to try to do 8,000. That feels very manageable now that I know where I'm sitting at right now. Tomorrow I have essentially a full day of writing ahead of me, which is very exciting. Even when I was writing about 2.5 weeks ago, whenever I last ended off, I wasn't really doing full days of writing. It was very much half days and then going into work or doing other things, kind of like how today was. So tomorrow, looking at my schedule and seeing that I get to write from 9 to 5 is kind of exciting for me. It's just been a very long time since I've been able to do that. I feel like I'm at a pretty good place in the manuscript right now. I just finished writing chapter 4. Tomorrow I'm going to start back up at chapter 5. I'm about to hit the inciting incident of the novel. We're getting to the point where they're going to start discussing starting a fake dating situation between the two of them. The whole draft right now is at 7,014 words. The first draft of this manuscript was 50,050 words exactly, which was just very funny to me. Last I checked, I have added at least 300 words to the manuscript. We're going to see how the manuscript is going to fluctuate throughout this process. I think it'll be very interesting to see, considering I'm not just striking paragraphs and adding new ones in. It is very much that I am fully rewriting. So we're going to see if rewriting it is going to get the manuscript any higher. Not that I have a certain goal for the manuscript. Having 50,000 words in the first draft was already really big for me. So now that I'm writing more, I'm just kind of interested to see if it's going to increase by much more. We'll see. I think it's going to really depend on certain chapters that I do. I do have another chapter, at least one other chapter planned to actually add. So I think there's a very good chance that I'm going to be a couple thousand words over 50,000, which would be cool. But again, I don't really have a goal in that sense. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I am already feeling very excited that I am writing again, and even filming a vlog is feeling very, I don't know, it's feeling very good for me right now. I think that I missed this, and as my channel is slowly but surely increasing in engagement and stuff, I think I'm just going to keep getting more excited to post and to share this journey with everyone. So I think that's going to be it for my writing day. I am going to probably do some reading this afternoon since I have some library holds once again that I need to get through, and also probably will do some baking perhaps. We'll see. We'll see what I end up getting up to. Anyway, let's, if I don't see more of you tonight, I will see you tomorrow. Hello everybody, it is now Wednesday. I have been working for a little bit this morning. I've written one more chapter. It's a chapter that I feel really good about. It took me a while to write. I think that it was a little bit slow this morning, but I ended up adding some really good information in there. I think a little bit more tension between my two main characters, just a little bit, which I think is going to add an interesting depth. I have written about 1,900 words this morning. I'll put the exact amount somewhere on the screen here. I've now passed the 5,000 words goal that I had originally set. So I'm just going to officially reset my goal. I think yesterday I said that I was going to do 8,000 words. Let's say 8,000 words and we'll see how that goes. I think that it is entirely possible. I think at about 5,300 words right now that I've written yesterday and today. Again, I'll put the exact word count on the screen. So that would be another 3,000 words to write, or under 3,000 words to write, which I think is 100% entirely possible, which is very, very cool. If I can surpass that, even better. But again, I'm not trying to force myself to do too much writing. I am really trying to ease my way into this. My busy season is still here. I'll be doing some long hours next week, and then the week after that, I have my next 2-week contract. So I'm gonna be working a lot again, and I think that I want to try to keep my expectations low and do more of a balance between writing and working. I don't want it to be all or nothing. I don't want to work every single day of the week and have no time for writing, but I also don't want to, on my days off, be only writing. I really want to try to balance it a little bit more. As of right now, I think I'm going to take a break. I've written quite a bit of words today already that I'm very happy about. I think I'm going to look into doing some crafts for a bit. I've decided that I am making Christmas gifts this year for my family. I haven't started any of them yet, and so I really want to get a little bit of a jump on that, considering we are essentially mid-November and my first holiday is on December 17th. And so I really want to make sure that I get that sort of thing done. It is very noisy outside of my home right now. It feels like every vehicle is going by right now. I had a car alarm going off, lots of honking, and now what I can only assume is a big truck is potentially passing by. So I think that's about my cue to stop recording right now, and I will come back to writing this afternoon after I do a little bit of sewing. Maybe not sewing, but at least the planning for the sewing. I'm just talking to talk here, guys. Okay, the way that I am so back with this whole writing thing. Okay, so after my little crafting break, and then I had a lunch break as well, I got back into writing this afternoon, as you might have just seen. I may sound like a broken record here, but I feel really good about the chapter that I just wrote. I am absolutely loving this draft right now. I'm feeling so good about my writing and just, I don't know, like my characters feel so consistent right now and much more rounded now that I've done my character sheets properly for them. If you didn't see in my last video, I ended up doing a bunch of new character sheets, one to expand my two main characters, but also for my more minor characters as well that kind of show up throughout the book. I have added a whole new section of dialogue in 2 different scenes now, and again, it feels more realistic. I think that before I was rushing through some of these dialogue scenes and some of these conversations, and so I've kind of forced myself to sit in it a little bit longer, and I think it makes the draft well better for it. Here are some numbers. I don't have exact numbers on the top of my head. I'm going to put them in the video as they come up. But the session that I just did, I wrote another 2,300 words, I believe. That is quite a chunky chapter for me. I think that that's definitely one of the longer ones in this book. Just off the top of my head, certainly in this new draft, that is definitely the longest one as of yet. That brings up the word count for the day to about 4,200 words. It is so funny to me that yesterday I started this video being like, oh, let's see if I get to 5,000 words in 3 days. Girl, I almost wrote 5,000 words in 1 day. And I know that's not crazy. I know that's not crazy for me, because I think one of the longer writing days I had done when I wrote the first draft of this, I think it was about 8,000 words, almost 10,000 words, something like that. I can't remember exact numbers right now. I'd have to go back and watch those videos, but I really genuinely thought that it would take longer for me to get back into the swing of writing. And it just makes me feel so confident in my ability to write that I'm able to sit down for these longer periods of time after not doing it for quite a bit and being able to write out these chunks of writing that I feel proud of, not just rushed through getting the words on page. No, this is a second draft. I feel really, really confident in these words that I'm putting down right now. So now, combining yesterday's and today's totals, we are now at about 7,000 words. Over that. I can't remember, again, number is here on the screen somewhere. But over 7,000 words in just 2 days of writing, which means I'm officially changing this challenge to be what I originally had thought that I was going to do, and then I chickened out of it a little bit. I'm writing 10,000 words in 3 days. Should have just done that in the first place. Should have just committed to the bit and done that in the first place. So now my intro looks a little silly. Looks a little silly that I said 5,000 words, but that's okay. We live and we learn, right? It is now about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Typically I write until around 4:30, sometimes 5, depending. But I think right now I'm in such a good place. I think I'm going to end my writing for the day. I definitely towards the end of that chapter, although the words are still good, my hands were getting pretty tired. I don't think my fingers are used to typing at a desk all day like they used to. So I think I'm going to give my fingers a break in that sense. And by giving them a break, I'm probably going to be doing some sewing projects for these Christmas gifts that I have planned. So is that really a break? No, not really, but I think it's different ergonomically for my hands. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of theater tech work, and although my hands are being used, they're definitely not as stationary as needed for sitting at a desk all day. So I'm going to end writing for the day, mostly because of my hands, because I have Christmas gifts that I gotta make, and also because I feel really good, and I kind of want to, like I was saying earlier, keep a good balance between writing and not writing. I think that over the summer, as much as I adored writing this book in the first place and doing this writing challenge, I think that because I was so focused on writing that a lot of my other creative hobbies have kind of been on the back burner. Also with my paying job as well, like I had explained at the beginning of this video, I was working so much and then I wasn't able to do a lot of my creative hobbies. My hobbies, yes, I've been playing video games and I've been reading. I was reading quite a bit. Now I'm kind of back in a little bit of a slump, unfortunately, but hopefully I can get back into reading as well. So I have things like that I really want to get back to doing more creative things that aren't just writing. So I'm going to end my writing for the day. This might be the last you see of me today, unless I get some clips of me later this evening doing some other little creative things. And we are going to pick up this manuscript back tomorrow morning. I have some time to write that, and I'll have less than 3,000 words to write. Oh, wait, actually, before I go, I just realized I reached 10,000 words in the manuscript again. I'll have to take a look at one point. I don't know how many words I've added now from the last manuscript. I want to guess at least 500 new words, maybe even more though. Future Meadow who's editing this, if you look at this and remember to gather the data for how many more words I've added. I just wrote chapter 6. However many the first 6 chapters were for draft 1, put it on the screen now versus what I have in this new draft. They'll just be interesting to see. I love adding tasks for editing me because I don't have to worry about it right now. That's for later. That's for later.